Hi everyone, how you doing? This is Louise. Welcome to another colouring club video. I'm so pleased you're joining me. Thank you so much to everyone who's purchased my book. And here's my colouring book we're colouring from and joining me on these videos as well. So today I felt like I needed some spring in my life. So I thought we would colour in this gorgeous Blossom Botanical Mandala. So you can see it's kind of a mandala, but I guess it's more of a bouquet. So we are going to invite some spring colours. I think I'm going to try a slightly different colour palette. I tend to kind of veer towards the same colours. So I thought I'm going to go a little bit out of my comfort zone here and use some peachy colours perhaps, some peaches and some pinks. And then we'll see how we get on. Now, unfortunately, the grayscale page actually is quite faint on this side, so it's not so noticeable, but I think I will do something with it and I'll show you at the end of the video. Maybe I'll outline it with some pen or add some colour on there. So we'll see at the end of the video what I do to create the double spread. So let's get colouring, everyone. So hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. I thought we could do something that is like springtime. So I picked this lovely Blossom Mandala from my book here. Obviously we're colouring botanical blooms, bouquets and mandalas. So this is kind of like more of a bouquet, let's say, I suppose. But we're going to be colouring in this one today. And actually, if you would like to learn to draw this particular, or maybe paint I should say, then I've got a different book here, this one here, Botanical Mandalas, where you actually learn to draw and paint and create expressive mandala art. I've got a whole section here on how to use watercolors to actually create these little buds that you can then create a blossom icon or a blossom kind of little mandala from. And actually I've got this one here, it's actually from my book that I'm using for inspiration today to colour in this particular mandala from my colouring book. So I am going out of my comfort zone a tiny bit. I'm going to choose some different colours that I've not coloured in before, I've not used before. So let's have a look. I've got these particular colours here and you can see they're a bit more peachy than what I would normally use. So I thought that would be really interesting. And actually here there's my little card as well. So I'm going to have a go at using kind of these colours today and see how I get on. And as usual, I'm going to do a little bit of blending as well. But I'm literally just going to work through this pretty blossom kind of bouquet and just enjoy the whole colouring process. And I think there won't be any different techniques than what I've used before. If you've been following along with me for a while, you know I like to blend colours together to create different gradients and hues and everything. So we're going to kind of be doing that today. But this is our colour palette for today, and I put all of the numbers of the pencils that I'm using into the description. And as a quick reminder, these are the pencils that I love to use the most. I may switch it up in future videos, but at the moment these are the ones that I'm using, and they're from Staedtler and they're actually water soluble pencils. So if you wanted to, you can use them as a regular pencil, which we're doing in these videos, or you can actually use them as watercolors as well when you add water to the pigment. So let's get going, and I'm going to pop that here with my colours, but I will zoom in actually so you can see this a bit better. Go ahead and do that now. I've got my inspiration around me. So let's move that over for you. There we are. I'm going to pop some of these around here. Got my colours here. And we'll get going. So like most of my colouring videos, I'm going to start in the centre and move outwards, and then we can I'll obviously talk as I go, but I think this video will probably be sped up a little bit. I'm going to go through, let's start here with the centre. So I've got this yellow. This is not a bright yellow actually, it's quite a creamy yellow. It's more of a cream, I think. I'm going to add those into the centre here. And I'll use that for the other ones that are around the edge as well. So I'll do that first. And then I'm going to start with a light colour and then blend outwards. So I'll start with like this peach. It's like a pinky peach. These are colours I haven't used before, so it's kind of like a little bit for me as well. Go very lightly. And here I've kind of exaggerated here where we've got some shadow. I've actually used the lines here to create the shadow, so you can use that as your guide of where you want to add more pigment as we go around. So of course that's very light to begin with. And I think I might blend with a bit more of a pink. You see it changes the colour quite a bit. I'm leaving some of the underneath colour actually in here, but I'm blending most of it with this light pink that I'm using. And then I'm going to go in with this other colour. This is quite a new colour actually for me as well. We're going to go in and blend. Then I'm going to use this to kind of colour in around the edges here. It's kind of like it's quite a nice pink actually. It's kind of like a bit of a rose pink. Slightly different. Not used it before, and it is actually very nice. Okay, and then I'm going to use the same colour here and I'm going to start blending inside this beautiful blossom. Maybe go a little bit darker in the centre here. Now it's kind of cancelled out that peachy colour a little bit, so you can go back in if you want to. If you want to add some of that colour back in, go back in again. Because we're using the pencils quite lightly, you're able to go back with the colours, you know, with the colour we used on the base. I think it does add a nice little bit of contrast in there, something different. There we go. This is quite a different design actually, because what I've done here, I've actually picked out where there's a little bit of shadow and I've actually highlighted that with my pen for the colouring pages. So it is slightly different to some of my other designs. Okay, then we can go a little bit darker again here in the centre. If you want to go back with your creamy yellow, go back and highlight some of these stamen a little bit more. There we go. You just keep going back and working the centre design. Or you can just use flat colour. There's no reason, you don't have to blend like I am. You can just use some nice flat colour, nice flat blossomy pink. Obviously I want to show you some little techniques. So I think that's that for the centerpiece there. And then what I'm going to do, I think I'll do the green next. And I've only picked out one green here. So I think what I might do, I might actually find a darker green to do a bit of contrast with it. We'll see what we can find. Just thinking I've got this one here. This might work quite well with this one here, but I'm just going to be subtle. So we go around first of all with the light green. Which is very light actually, this one. And then what we can do a bit of blending with this darker colour. And on here I've left these leaves blank actually, so if you wanted to go in and draw the veins in or anything, then you can go ahead and do that. There's nothing stopping you from adding your own pen marks in here. You can see I'm just going back over with this lighter colour now. I think that's okay actually. So I'm going to use those two. So I'll pop that extra green colour into the description so you've got all of the colours that I'm using today. So I'm going to go round and I'm going to do all of the greens, I think. So all the petals and the stalks. And then I'll come back and then we'll do the rest of the blossoms. As you can see here, I've got my green pencil, and actually there's nothing stopping you from outlining some of this because I've used quite a fine pen for this particular design. The markings or the lines aren't really solidly black lines, so you can actually go through, a bit like the grayscale, you can go over the lines here, which is really good to do actually sometimes, to really highlight some of the shapes and the shadow. You can see here I've gone a bit darker, which actually is quite nice for the contrast. Okay, so there's all the green finished. It's looking rather pretty. So I'm just going to work my way around all the buds here. I think maybe these ones here, I might use this lighter colour, and then on the buds themselves, they're usually darker actually. So I'm going to probably change things around here. I mean, when you look at this actually, which is very similar to the drawing, you know, we've got a bit of pink and purple in here, because obviously this is a watercolour painting, not an actual drawing, but some of the pink is a lot darker than what you see here. So I'm going to use that kind of as my approach. And I'm going to work my way round, and I'll speed the film up for you. Actually thinking I might add a little bit of this purple in here. I mean, as I'm doing here, you could leave some of this actually blank, so some of it white, like it's catching the light. Because sometimes the blossom can actually be a little bit translucent like that, let's say. So it's actually quite fun to have a go at that. And we're going to add a colour in the background, I think, as well once we're finished, so it'll help the design pop a little bit. So I thought I was going to go heavy on the colour on these, but actually now I'm leaving some of the space white, which I think is really nice. I'm adding the dark, I'm going to go dark here. Okay, so I'm going to go around and finish those. Okay, oh sorry if the lights changed a little bit, it's because it's raining outside. It's gone a bit darker. Okay, so there we go, there's the blossom design finished, and then obviously you've got a very faint blossom design on this side that you can colour in if you wish. But I think we're going to go in the background here with some nice light blue and finish this off. Now, obviously, you can use a darker colour in here if you wanted to. There's some different ways of doing this. You can add a black or a dark brown, or even a dark green or a light blue. So I think it all depends what kind of contrast you might want. But I think we're just going to stick, we want it to be spring-like. So even though it's raining outside for me, it's sunshine in here with our lovely spring bouquet here. I'm using the side of the pencil just to shade in behind here. Okay, so there we go. There's our finished blossom bouquet. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoyed colouring in this gorgeous design. And here we are. Here's the finished double spread. As you can see, here's our finished colouring page here with the beautiful blossom. I actually can feel the sunshine on this page. I don't know about you, but it feels like there's sunshine. It's beautiful. So I actually went through the grayscale and I outlined all the little blossom flowers in pink actually, and went through and added a tiny bit of yellow, and you can see I've added some green into the background. And actually now I'm looking at this on the camera, I might add some green in here just to balance out the greens that I've got going on here. So I'll go ahead and do that as well. But here's the double spread, here's the finished double spread for this colouring page, and they're all looking so pretty, if I do say so myself. So if you enjoyed watching this video and you'd like to continue joining into the colouring club, then make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notification of when my new videos come out every Saturday. And there's lots of links in the description as well. If you've not yet purchased my book, there's a link to do so if you want to find out more information about the book and all my other books as well that I've got currently available. And of course, if you've got any questions, please do comment and let me know how you get on with the colouring pages, and ask any questions and I'll be back to answer them as soon as possible. All right, everyone, thanks again. As always, see you next time. Bye.